today at Life and In Between podcast. Today, I actually have a very special guest today that's joining us. Her name is Kaya Jackson. And I do have to have a trigger warning right here. This topic of discussion is going to be very sensitive. And I do advise you to be mindful. We are going to be talking about today about shaking baby syndrome. And this is Kaya Jackson's personal journey, what she has lived through. If you're not ready to hear this, please pause this. And when you are ready and you have gathered yourself collectively, please listen to this because this message is very important and everyone should hear it. But I just want to make sure that I give that warning. So today I have the honor again, as I mentioned, of having a wonderful, courageous woman that's coming ahead and speaking on our platform, Kaya Jackson. She's going to be talking about her nonprofit organization that started Justice for Shaking Baby Syndrome, if I'm not mistaken. And Kaya, please correct me because if I did get that wrong, I would love for you to correct me on that. And so we're going to actually be diving deep. So without further ado, I am going to have Kaya walk us through her journey, and then we're going to dive deeper into. We're going to peel back the layers. Thank you again, Kaya, for joining us today. And audience, please give her a round of applause.
And thank you for having me today. My baby was a normal baby, and I allowed her to go visit with her biological father back in 2015. And my baby was abused down in his residence with him and his girlfriend. My baby was rushed to the hospital to have brain surgery. And I got to the hospital. They had me go in a small room and tell me that my baby was not going to make it. And if she did make it, she'll be a vegetable. And my baby survived 9 whole years, and she passed February 26, 2024. So, I'm here just to tell my story about my sweet girl and the journey. My baby was just a normal, typical baby, and she became special needs after her injury, where she couldn't walk, talk, feeding tube, seizures, quadriplegic, cerebral palsy, chronic lung disease, hip dysplasia, no head control, no body control. And it was a long journey for my sweet girl. I took care of her, gave her all the love she needed, and she passed away in 2024. Um, so after my baby passed, I just said I wasn't going to be stuck in depression. You know, I have my grieves, I have my moments on the regular because she was my baby, my heart, my everything. But I turned my grief into purpose now. And how I turn my grief into purpose is starting a nonprofit called Justice for Shakin Babies in memory of Egypt Henderson. And this is my journey now of just raising awareness and helping the community to be educated about shaking baby syndrome. Because before this happened to my baby, I didn't know what shaking baby syndrome was. I heard of it, but I didn't know. And this is my journey now.
Your journey.
Yes.
Thank you so much for, again, I know I said this earlier on, and thank you for trusting Life and In Between and sharing your story. And this is something that needs to be brought forward, awareness. No parent should live through this at all. And I am so sorry, and my condolences to you, and from our audience as well. Um, Take me back if you don't mind. Um, um, I know you mentioned that your daughter was born healthy,
Yes.
everything. How old was she at the time when she went and spent that time with her father when you said she was spending her time with her
17 months old.
with
17 months old, my baby.
17 months old? And so now I have a question. When the news was delivered to you, your first reaction, I mean, and the reason I ask you this, and you do not need to answer this if this is too sensitive. I ask this because I'm sure that there is a parent right now at this moment dealing with this emotion and not knowing what to do. you get the phone call, you race to the hospital, and you are flooded with all these emotions.
Yes.
What did it take at that moment for you? Because you took action.
Yes.
I know it wasn't easy. What was the shift? What was something that happened to you at that moment that made you say, I need to take justice for Egypt?
You talking about when the hospital when it first happened?
Yeah, when you got there at the first hospital, your reaction, and then I just kind of want to understand that journey that you went through, because I don't think right away you were like, I'm going to forgive this man that ultimately took my baby and did this.
Oh, I had a lot of hate in my heart. I was angry when I saw him in the like the hospital setting with the waiting area. It was him and his girlfriend. He was pacing back and forth. The girlfriend was pacing back and forth. I really wanted to snap. I really wanted to snap, but I did not want to go to jail, so I just removed myself and stayed far away. And actually, they was leaving, and the investigator never popped up at the hospital, never came. The police wasn't there at all. I had to keep calling the police, calling the police, calling the police. And right before they was trying to leave, that's when investigators came in, and ultimately they allowed him and his girlfriend to leave. And the girlfriend contacted me and said, "I think Joseph did this." And the next day in the afternoon, the girlfriend took him up to the investigator's office, and he confessed to striking my baby in the back of the brain until she was unconscious. Told the investigators because she wouldn't stop crying, and I had a lot of hate in my heart. I just wanted to snap, but I knew I have other kids, and if I snap, where will my other kids go? So I had to, snap back into reality, and I stay at the hospital with her every single day. She's in the ICU, PICU, pediatric intensive care unit for 2 months.
Oh my gosh. And so through this process, you're juggling in taking care of your child that's in the hospital. You
Yes,
have your other children to support,
yes,
and then you're dealing with the legal aspect.
yes.
Um, could you share the journey of what happened? Was he uh, immediately arrested, or can you share that part of the story?
It happened on the 23rd. Her injury happened on the 23rd. He confessed on the 24th, and he was
Mhm.
arrested February 24th, 2020. No, I'm sorry, 2015. Yep. So like a day later, he was because he confessed. And I asked the investigator, why isn't the girlfriend charged? She was there as accessory after the fact. Because
Mhm.
I'm going to go back a little bit. The girlfriend said she was not there at the time. But when we got to the hospital, well, I got to the hospital, we was all in the hospital.
Right.
Then she said, oh, she was the next room over. And she didn't hear nothing.
So
And
she lied.
yes, yes. And she was never charged. And the investigator said she was in charge because he confessed to it.
Okay. So even though, okay, she was an accessory, wow. So how much, if you don't mind me asking, was how much time is he serving?
He only got 4 years left. He been in there since 2015, and he only have to do 14 years. He took a plea deal. State of South Carolina cap. The initial charge they charge him with child abuse, and the cap is 20 years. And he took a plea deal, so dropped it to 18 years. And when I've been doing a lot of research and wondering why he's getting out in 4 years, and they said because it's 85% of the time they do good credit, good time, which I don't understand that part. He
Right.
took my baby away from me, so I'm not understanding how, but I guess that's the legal part, how they do it with prisoners or criminals.
Right.
It's, it's certain guidelines. They can't just hold them in there.
There's certain guidelines, and speaking of the guidelines and the laws, I know that the prison system is a little bit different how they serve their term. And I
Yes.
understand that. And so it's kind of more shortened than the actual time that they're given because
Yeah.
of good behavior and all these things. My understanding is, and from what you shared, there is a law that you're actually trying to push, Egypt's law that's currently right now that you're
Yes.
pushing for. Can you explain on that? And I kind of want to dive into a little bit why the importance of this law, and we're gonna peel back more layers on that if you don't mind.
Egypt law came about when my baby passed away, and the coroners told me that they deemed it homicide on her autopsy. Death certificate is autopsy from complications of her brain injury. But then they told me the prosecutor's office said they cannot charge him anymore because there is a law here in South Carolina when someone is convicted of a crime, they will have to, that person will have to pass within them 3 years of the initial injury. And because she stayed alive for 9 years, there's no way they can charge him. And the law is bodily injury on a minor, and that's what the plea down when he plead down, that's what he plead to, and there's only a 3 year statute of limitation, even though we have causation of linking him to her death, he still can't be charged with homicide anymore. So Egypt law will take that statute of limitations away, but they can't just have an open law state. They say it have to be some type of statute of limitations here in South Carolina. So we're gonna do 10 years of statute of limitations instead of
Statute.
3. So extra 7 years. And that's
So
for children, it's for everyone in South Carolina.
everyone in South Carolina. So let me understand this clearly. This is not my realm, but I want to understand this better. So the state of South Carolina said that they can't have an open, which means indefinite if the person passes away, whether it's 10, 15, or 20 years from the cause of their injuries, they cannot sentence and try that person for homicide.
Yeah.
Am I understanding that clearly?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so then, but Egypt's law is going to push for instead of 3 years, you can try to push for 10 years.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Oh gosh, so we got to get this happening. We got to get this ball rolling. So our listeners, they're in South Carolina or even outside of outside of Cal, what can we do to amplify and try to get this law to get passed? Um, can you tell us?
Are you asking me that?
Yes, I'm asking you that. I'm
Oh, I'm so
sorry.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's really nothing that the community can do because it's in the subcommittee judicial hands. So what's going to happen is already 2 weeks ago I went before the subcommittee in Columbia, South Carolina, the capital. So it's like more of the state house. And I testified at the state house and told my baby story on why this law needs to happen. So the next step would be once it passed the subcommittee, it goes to judicial. After judicial, then it goes to the House, and then the House passes it, then the Senate, and then it could turn into a law. So it's really nothing the community can do. It's really up to the Republicans and the Democrats. They have to vote on it now.
So could they put pressure on the constituents, the Republicans writing letters? Could
Yes, they
that
can.
help
Yes, they
in
can.
saying that we want this law to pass and put that pressure? Because I know with politicians receiving 10 emails or 10 letters is like, oh my gosh, we got the whole world like
Yes.
wanting this. So did they advise you how long this process would take?
Because it's the end of sessions right now, and we
Mhm.
started like right in the middle. They finally gave us a hearing like within 2 weeks ago, and the representative of South Carolina here, Representative Wendell Jones, he pre-filed it in January, but we didn't get to have a hearing until just 2 weeks ago, and
Okay.
sessions end in May. So, and then it's more of a what you say they voting again.
The voting. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's it's somebody's running against him right now. We're keeping our fingers crossed that he stays in the office because once he go back in, that's the first thing on the list. He's going to start it again
Okay.
because it
Okay.
passed the first step already. It passed the subcommittee, so it's in judicial hand right now.
Okay. Okay. So
It's a process.
it is a process. So anyone that be more than likely to, I'm hoping that no one opposes this, but is there who are the people, the constituents that our listeners would have to write to? Because
uh, Representative Wendell Jones, he's the representative of South Carolina who's
okay,
sponsoring the bill. But they have like a chairman there. I don't know
okay,
his name off the top of my head. I went before him. Um, But I'm thinking you can just. I would have to find out information, and I can, you know, tell you. Yeah.
Absolutely. What we could do is for our listeners, because we are going to gather as much information as possible. I want you to read the description because I want to make sure that we advocate for this law to pass. We need to make sure that no other parent and no other, that there's justice for the children and there's justice for Egypt. I mean, this um, would be something very monumental and a shift in the law if we can get this happening. So check up our description, please, because I'm going to make sure that we include it, and I'm going to keep in communication with you, Kaya.
Okay.
Please, I want you to mention, and I kind of, now that we talked about the law and everything, I want to circle back to Justice for Shaking Baby. Um, it's a nonprofit that you started
Yes.
for our listeners that want to get in touch with you. Where can they go directly? Is it like justice for shakingbaby.org or .com, or where can they go directly to read more on Egypt and you?
It's www.forever FOREVER 2013.org. That's my website. And also, all you have to do is Google Egypt Henderson, and you will see all her stories. My Facebook is Kaya Jackson. I have another page, it's Justice for Shaking Babies Facebook page. And I have a page, I Am Egypt's Mother.
Okay. Okay. This is wonderful. Okay, so we definitely need to reach out and give some love. Tell us about Justice for Shaking Baby. What does this nonprofit do? I know that you covered a little bit on it, but I want to hear it from you again, that our listeners can hear it from you. What exactly does this nonprofit do?
It helps children with brain injuries. My mission is to advocate. My mission is to educate families about shaken baby syndrome. I'm sorry. One of the stuff that I do is I go to parenting class. I do parenting classes at different places like daycares. I do workshops. I have like a dummy doll where the dummy doll screams and cry, and I teach people on how to handle the baby that's crying. And then I
Hmm.
show example, if I shake the baby, parts of the brain lights up, and it shows what part of the brain get affected. It could be the coordination. It could be the hand movement. That's one of the things I do in my nonprofit. Also, um, I help once my nonprofit get all the way off the floor. My plan is to help people. Like if a baby get injured, I can help pay for the cost of the funeral. I could be in court with them to be an advocate with them. Right now, like I put a billboard on Woodruff Road, the busiest highway here in Greenville. A billboard about awareness, showing a hotline for shaken baby syndrome. Just like they have a crisis line, they do have a shaken baby syndrome hotline number. Um,
Would you
so
like to share that number as well?
yes, I have to get my card. I'm sorry, I got
That's
cards
okay.
and all kind of stuff.
It's okay. And yeah, as soon as you grab that, I did also want to, I know you were talking about the billboard, and that you have that up with the telephone number, bringing awareness. You also mentioned to me a little bit earlier, there's a street named after Egypt. You were able to, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna allow you to,
I'm working on the street name in my
oh, I'm sorry.
neighborhood. It haven't happened yet. I'm still working because I have to get all my neighbors to sign off on it. That's
Hmm.
kind of a iffy thing going on right now because
Okay.
when I go and take it to the neighbors, they say, "Well, do I have to change the light bill over?" But that's not the point. It's to honor my baby. So
Right.
I'm having a kind of but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Okay.
It's gonna
Okay.
happen. It's gonna happen.
Good. Okay. Um, so circling back to that billboard number, can we have that if you don't mind?
Yes, you can. And I got a card. I got these cards made everywhere I go, whether it's Walmart, Target, anywhere I go, once I step foot at the house, I always pass out my baby cards and my nonprofit cards. And the number is 855 for a parent. 855-427-2736. And that's what I pass out everywhere I go. And then I have my baby story on the back of the card. And that's another way I raise awareness. Like I could be at the grocery store and I see someone with a small baby. I tell them my baby story and I just give them a card. So, and that's what I do in my nonprofit. It's really about awareness,
Bring awareness,
educating.
educating. Um,
Yes.
and wow, this is and so it's so important because I want listeners to know that business cards cost money. Bringing awareness, this is your time. Um, and so it's so very, very important that you keep that in mind that right now uh, Kaya is on a journey to ensure that we protect the babies of the future and protect the children right now. And this is critical and so important that we bring this awareness and to support her nonprofit. So I definitely want to emphasize on that. I did also want to ask you in regards to um, you talked about doing these coaching classes, and going into like nurseries and um, what are the ways for our listeners, if you're listening, this would be a wonderful way to engage employees, like also PTA meetings. I don't know if you've attended like PTA meetings, different anything that involves children. Please contact Kaya in regards to get this training and all that. I did also want to mention another thing in regards to Egypt. And this is a little bit more in regards to your children, because I know that this trauma was not only traumatic for you, but also for your other children. How are they handling? How are they coping?
Um, they don't talk about the feelings a lot. My next to oldest daughter, she's 14, and I always ask her once in a blue moon, "How do you feel? Do you miss your sister?" And she said, "I love my sister and I miss her. I just choose not to talk about it because I don't want to be sad." So she holds it in a lot,
She
and I
holds it
try
in.
to, get her to talk about it, but she won't.
Okay. Um, One of the things that I think that in part of the coaching is that healing process that the whole family, because this impacted everyone. This impacted your children, impacted you. Um, Tell me, for example, I have oh, that's the oh wow, that is the doll. Okay.
Yes,
Can you do a demonstration if you don't mind? A little
yes,
mini demonstration.
yes. So this is the doll right here. Actually purchased the doll from Reality Works right here.
Okay.
And what happens is sometimes it takes a minute to work up. I'm sorry.
No, no worries. And as we watch, okay, so we see how it's starting up.
It takes a process. I'm sorry.
No, no, it's no worries. So as we wait for you to get started, the doll and everything, I did want to ask you on a very the next question. Have you been in communication since this all has happened with your ex?
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
Not at all. Okay.
At times I want to write a letter to
Hmm.
ask him why he did this to my baby,
Hmm.
but because what I'm gonna say is not good to say, and I don't want
Right,
to get in no trouble. So I just, if I write a letter, I just tear it up, and that's what I
right,
do. I just write how I feel and I tear it up because sometimes it's best to not say or write what I want to say to him. You know,
right.
yeah. So
I
and
and I
the
can
and the girlfriend done blocked me off all platforms. after this happened to my baby. You know, never contact me, kept all her clothes, her shoes that she had down there, like her car seat, all that down there. So, yes.
And it's so unfortunate that she just walked away without any consequences because she
No
was
consequences at all.
have is that something that I know that you were working on changing that law in regards to from 3 to 10 years. Have you is there any thoughts on or have you started on changing the laws in trying to for a person that is there to do some time or and please forgive me because I'm on my ignorance. I'm very unfamiliar with the like the how that works. And I'm just kind of wondering, is that another process that you thought of, or you just currently just focusing on extending the 3 through 10 years?
I'm most focused on the 3 to 10 years because right now they do have a law accessory to the fact, and really it's only so much we can do. Is the police have to do their job, and so much we can do about it, and especially when someone confesses, they always some cities will still charge accessory to the fact, but it didn't happen in Greenville. It happened in Lawrence, down Lawrence, like a little country town, and
Okay.
yes, and actually, once this law happens, it don't go retroactive, so he'll
It
still be
doesn't
free.
matter. Yeah, so it's only moving forward. So
Yeah,
she basically walks away. Okay. I am so sorry about that. And she just completely blocked you. Wow.
yes,
Uh, and another thing, you talked about that you have, aside from your demonstration of the doll that we're going to go into, but do you have other items that you do when you do your, because I know you were showing me some beautiful pictures. There's a beautiful picture of your daughter in the background that someone did. Uh,
yes.
I would love, oh my gosh. There is Egypt. I want people to see her beautiful, beautiful drawing of Egypt. She's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl. Um, yes, that's a beautiful picture. And that was given to you. Someone, an artist did that, or someone painted
Yes, and they came
that?
from up north,
Okay.
and she drove all the way down here, and she delivered it. Yes,
Hmm, thank you. So right now, as we're waiting for that doll to come up for you, the demonstration and all that, we may have someone in oh, is she ready? Or is the
I'm hoping the battery's not dead. I do have a charger, but I do. If it don't work right now, I have videos on YouTube. Also, maybe you
okay.
can attach it
Yeah,
to.
we can definitely do that. We'll direct people. But the idea is that when you shake the to understand, because I know you explained it to me, when you're holding the doll, the idea is the doll actually mimics the cry of a baby.
Yes,
It cries and everything. And then what happens is that when you shake the baby, the doll actually, it lights up those areas like what you were talking about, lights up on the brain areas of how when you
like
shake,
you see how I was doing right there.
uh-huh.
That's how we usually do it. And then in the back, I don't
And
know.
those are where the damages take place. Okay, I see that. And
That's the
how this,
eyesight right here. And
okay.
on this side is the feet, the hand, the communication, cognitive thinking, personality, and the hands and the feet on this side also.
And the hands and the feet, okay.
I don't know why it's not working. Maybe it's the battery is dead because it's been
It's
sitting here for yes,
yeah, you've probably used it in one of your last demonstrations and wasn't charged. So, but no, this is great so that people could see that this is one of the things that you use to demonstrate.
yes.
Um, and I know that it could be very frustrating when you have a child crying and screaming and for whatever reason. What are some of the techniques that you talk about on not to get to the point of shaking this fragile baby? Because we've got to remember that, or kind of lifting and or hurting or lifting our hand and hitting in certain areas that we shouldn't even think about going,
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
yeah. So what are some techniques? Because if we have some right now, a parent and that is just overwhelmed, what advice do you give them? Before
First,
they
I always tell the parent to make sure the baby is not wet, make sure the baby's not hungry, and you place the baby on the baby's back in a safe spot like a bassinet, pack and play, a crib. Um, Sometimes I tell parents use a vacuum cleaner because sometimes that distracts the baby from crying. You turn the TV on as loud, not to hurt the baby ears, but to try to distract the baby. You rock the baby. If that's still not working, like I said, you place them in a safe place, and it don't hurt for a baby to cry. You allow the baby to cry, and you take yourself out of the area where you can still see the baby, like on the front porch, or you can, if the baby got a monitor, you go upstairs. You could get a family member to come in to sit with the baby, and if it has
right,
to come to it, you call 911. You call
right.
someone to help you. You never take your anger out on the child because it takes 10 seconds of crying or 10 seconds of changing the child life and changing your life also.
Listeners, I want you to hear that and I want you to say it again. How many seconds does it take?
10 seconds. It's a
10
10-second
seconds.
rule.
10
Hmm.
seconds to ultimately change
Yes.
the course of multiple individuals' lives.
Yes.
That's all it takes, 10 seconds. And all you need to do, and I, as a mother, as a mother, and I feel your pain. I feel it so deeply. Um, we know how overwhelming it can get when the child is crying, but it's okay to just step away for a second.
Yes.
And it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's not okay to place your hands on them. It's
Oh
not
no.
okay to let your anger out. It's
Mm-mm.
okay to pick up that phone. And if you feel like you can't handle it, call someone. If you
Yeah.
cannot reach no one, like Kaya said, call 911 and say, I'm overwhelmed. I
Yes.
haven't physically hurt my child, but I feel like that I may and I need help. That's
Yes.
all it takes. We just need you to stop. And like when you were talking, I love the fact that you talked about turning on the vacuum, turning on
Yes.
the TV. Um, Crying doesn't hurt the baby. So if the
Mm-mm.
baby cries for 3 to 4 minutes or 5 minutes, you just need those moments to just collect your thoughts and just kind of step away. Make sure that the baby's okay, kind of in our but just kind of breathe, do your breathing techniques or do something to just kind of bring you back down
Yes.
and that can prevent ultimately sitting in a prison cell and
Yes.
ultimately changing a beautiful healthy child's life the
Yes.
core so
And
I love the those techniques that you mentioned that we should do. Thank you so much for sharing that.
And also, it's 1,300 cases in the United States of shaken baby syndrome, also known as abusive head trauma. The term of shaken baby syndrome, they don't use that specific name anymore. They use abusive head trauma now.
Abusive head trauma. Okay, good
It,
to know. That
it
is very
actually is up to, it's not just from little babies, it's up to 5 years old also. A lot of people don't know that either.
okay. So it's something about the brain is that fragile to the age of
Yes.
5, you're saying.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
listen, people. It's so important that we learn we absorb that in and take that in. Um, the other thing that I wanted to ask you is what can we, our audience listeners, do to help you? What is it right now that you need that um that I know people out in the community saying, okay, how do we help Kaya Jackson on her nonprofit? What can they do? Aside from bringing awareness, what else can we do?
Donate if you can. Cause actually, last July I did a book bag giveaway. I gave away 150 book bags here in Greenville. And I did 10 special needs book bags.
Okay.
So everything I do for my nonprofit comes out of my funding right now until I get everything off the ground, which I'm working on right now. So if you could donate, I have bumper stickers for sale also. I don't have them on me. I will show you my bumper. Let me see that. Actually, I do got them. These are my bumper stickers. I made it honor my baby, and they got the parent number.
Okay.
Don't shake, take a break. Um, I also, I'm sorry, I just got a lot of stuff that
It's okay. It's a, you know,
I have also this right here. And this is just about my nonprofit. I usually go through I do vendor marketplaces where I go and set up and I raise awareness, pass out flyers, and I get donations. Actually, I do a celebration for her and for the community every year. Her next event is going to be a Shakin Baby awareness event, September 12th.
okay.
Usually, like last year, what we did was we raised awareness and the kids came in. We did face painting, bouncy houses, free food. This year, actually, the police department is on board where we're going to have some speakers this year. So it's
Okay.
getting it's coming up. It's coming up.
It's
You know.
amplifying, it's growing, it's growing.
Yes.
One other thing, I don't know it because I know this is a lot of information that you're carrying here, and so it's a lot. What about volunteerism? Can people reach out to you if they can volunteer that live
Oh
in your
yes, I
area?
need volunteers because I always be on my Facebook or on my I am Egypt's mother page or Justice for Shakin Baby page, and I always ask for volunteers. So if you're local, or even if you're not local, you want to travel down here just to come to the event and volunteer. On my website, it got a volunteer button on there. Volunteer, donate, and it got the mission and it got what we do and who we is, which really is just me, but you know.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So volunteers, please, for those that have some time, reach out to Kaya and reach out to see how we can help, you know? And the stuff that you were talking about, your bumpers and that beautiful cup that you had, that can
Yeah.
be all found on your website, correct?
Well, I don't have them on my website. I have them on my page. I haven't put it on the website. The person that's helping me, he haven't put it on it. I'm sorry. It's like a I use a graphic designer and he supposed to put it on there. I haven't got to put it on there. So usually when I have my souvenirs or my daughter bumper stickers, I just go. Sometimes I go door to door. I pop up at
Oh,
events.
okay,
That's
okay,
what I
okay.
usually do.
Okay, so currently right now they will not find that on the website. That's if in the area. Okay. So for example, eventually you will get that on the website so
Oh yeah,
people can
I'm
look
working
out
on
for
it.
it.
Like
Okay.
within the next couple of weeks, I'm working on it.
Okay.
I
Perfect.
also have a GoFundMe up. Also, if anyone wanted to donate, I can send you that link if you wanted to put it up there. But I really need volunteers because usually it just be me, my husband. Actually, my husband was going to adopt Egypt before she passed away, and my kids. They usually be the ones that helps me in events. People from my church come in, they volunteer, but that's a must. I really need volunteers. Yes.
Okay. Definitely. So definitely volunteer. So people, are you hearing out there? If you're listening, please. Kaya needs volunteers, so let's see if we can get her some volunteers for her upcoming events that are coming. Um, Now, Kaya, I did want to go ahead and I know we talked about the organization. We talked about this. Now, I kind of want to talk about you in the sense of how are you dealing with this and who is your community? Who's helping you get through this? Because right now, there is a mother out there or a father out there that is going through this pain, and they're experiencing it, and sometimes people isolate and they go into the depression. Can you share a little bit about who was there for you and how you were able to continue moving forward?
Um, when I have my meltdowns and my emotional waves, actually the representative that's helping me and that sponsored the bill, he's actually a pastor. So if I'm going through my waves, first my husband is here. He helps me out when I'm going through my emotional distress, grieving of my baby. Um, Representative Wendell Jones, who is also a pastor. I call my pastor. If I feel like I'm just getting to that edge where thoughts is going through my head and I'm just real down, I usually drive to the gravesite and I'll just sit there until I get all my emotions out. I read my Bible. I listen to music. I don't have a therapist. I go to grief support groups once a month. I haven't been there in a couple months, but I have a grief support
Okay.
system. Um, so that's how I get through. I get through my everyday grief. I go to my baby gravesite once a week. Um, my whole life changed since my baby left me. Since she transitioned, my life changed, and I'm working on now how to get back to myself because the first year I was depressed. I wouldn't do nothing. I was angry, depressed, but I started working it out on my own. And I said, you know what? I cannot stay here and be depressed. I have other kids. I need to change Greenville, South Carolina. That's what this is my mission now, to change and to raise awareness and educate parents, caregivers, people that work with kids on the regular. Never shake, take a break. And that's my slogan.
Never shake, take a break. That's a really powerful slogan.
Yes.
Never shake, take a break.
Yes.
I love that.
I do TikTok. I don't know if you was looking on my TikTok or anything. I do TikTok videos. I do YouTube videos. I go on live. Everywhere I go, everyone knows about my baby Egypt because no matter if I'm going for 2 minutes or hour, anywhere I go, whether if I'm in Atlanta at the beach or somewhere downtown, everyone knows who I am. I'm Egypt's mother, and that's why her page said I am Egypt's mother. So
Okay. Um, this is something that you have done something so courageous. You taken something so painful and something so painful that like we weren't meant to bury our children as parents. We're not meant to bury our children. And it's something so painful that you took and you're bringing awareness and you're taking charge and kind of control and empowering yourself in a powerless situation, something that you couldn't change, but this is the best way of doing that.
yes,
um so thank you for that. Thank you for that. And we appreciate you for all the changes that you're moving towards. And um can I can I ask you one final question, and
yes,
then because I know we're coming at time and I want to be mindful and respectful of your time. Since our podcast is about transitional moments and you shared a lot with us, and we're in life and in between transitional moments, it's life and in between. Can you share something that our listeners can take away that right now are not in such a good spot? What can you share with them? A little piece of nugget. I know you shared a lot, but just like one last final takeaway.
well, I'll just say never shake, take a break, take time for yourself. If you're going through something where you lost a child, a loved one, don't stick in your depression. Find some resources out there that can assist you and to help you along the road because it's not easy doing it by yourself. I can semi do it by myself, but at times I still have to call for help. I still sometimes, to be honest, I get in my mode and I have to call the crisis line or I have to call someone. If I can't get no one on the phone, I'll call the crisis line and tell them I lost my baby and this is how I'm feeling right now. Can you talk me through it?
Mm,
Because you have to even though your hard times come, your sad times come, you still have to take control and don't let it control you. That's why I tell people don't let the problem control you. You control the problem and try to work through the problem.
you're welcome. This is
Yes.
beautiful advice. Thank you so much. And I know this is so I know there's someone out there that's listening to this that is going to ultimately make a huge, huge difference for them. So
Yes.
thank you for that.
Can I say
Again,
one more thing also?
sure, absolutely. Yes.
Love on your babies. Don't take anger out on your babies, no matter what, how you feel. The baby's crying, the baby's whining. Do not take your anger out on no child. I do not want no one to be in a position where how I am, my child is going, never coming back. So please, y'all, love on your babies, take time with your babies, and call for help.
Exactly.
Yes,
I think that's a perfect way to actually segue in closing this out. Love your babies, value, cherish them, love them. Don't take out your anger on them. Um
yes,
and I say this, Kaya, you are now part of the Life in Between Familia. You are welcome anytime to come on our show. You're part of the family. And I do also want to say for our listeners out there, please, if you're hearing this, share this episode because we know that there is a loved one, a friend family member, a neighbor, someone out there that needs to hear this message. We need to share this. We need to bring awareness to this. This isn't something that we should take lightly. This is something that can impact and ultimately change the trajectory of so many people's lives. So share this video out there. For if this is the first time you're listening to our podcast, please follow us. We're on all our social media platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. You can on LinkedIn, Facebook. We're all over the place on TikTok. Just make sure you share this. And then I also want to say for everyone, I want everyone to have peace in their heart, peace in their heart. And I also want to share a lot of love, peace and love and all that. And we're going to send a special hearts to Egypt. Those hearts go to Egypt.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us at Life and In Between.